Let's talk about kerosene pickles. Let's talk about Old Man Rimshaw. Let's talk about Barney's sidecar. It's always fun to hang out with y'all. A loaded goat is causing a stir from the panic he is creating. Come on in, take a seat. It's two chairs, no waiting. Sit a spell and tune right in. We are about to start the show. We have a lot to talk about with the folks that we all know. Opie and Ian, Otis Barn and the Darlings too. This will be amazing. It's two chairs, no waiting.
Episode number 854, Listener Feedback, Summer of 2025.
It's two chairs, no waiting. It's two chairs, no waiting. Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Chairs, No Waiting. I'm Allan, Newsome, the host here at Two Chairs, and it's great to see you guys here with me tonight. Always fun to be recording and talking about the Andy Griffith Show. So thanks for being here with me. Tonight we're going to be talking about some listener feedback. So it's going to be a random conversation of just about all kinds of stuff related to either the podcast or things that people just thought about that they thought would be interesting to all of us. So I hope you're going to really enjoy that. If you do, get out there and subscribe to the podcast, like the podcast, do all those kind of things, try to spread the word and get it out there. I want to thank our executive producer for tonight. The executive producer is Cheryl Langille, and the High Sheriff of Mayberry for episode number 854 is Chris Merrill. So thank them. They've given donations to the podcast to help keep it going, and I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that does that, and thank you to everyone that's just here, because this is what it's all about. I'm Allan Newsome. I think I said that, the host here at Two Chairs. Let's get this show rolling. I've got some voicemails that I think you're going to really enjoy. First, we're going to hear from Al Becker. Al Becker called in, and he had some comments about a show where he saw some Mayberry people, and he thought you might like it. So let's hear from Al.
Good morning. This is Al Becker. You've heard of Al Becker. I was looking on TV and happened to run up on a show called a series Date with the Angels from. This is 57 I'm watching, and it says it stars Betty White, Bill Williams, and Burt Mustin. Thought that was real neat. Never seen this before. Just wonder if you had any information on this. Pretty neat. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Al Becker, for taking time to call in. And no, I had never heard of that before, but I did some research and looked it up a little bit. It was Date with the Angels. It was the name of the TV show, and it was only on from May of 57 till January, the end of January of 58. So it was on basically, I think there were 30 some odd episodes that were aired, and it did star Betty White, and the other star was Bill Williams. I didn't know who that is. Some of you guys may, but there were a lot of Andy Griffith Show people on that show. Now, just to name a few that he may have mentioned, there was Maudie Prickett. Well, she is the lady who played Andy's Aunt Nora and Uncle Ollie. That was her. She was on like 7 episodes of that show. Burt Mustin was on 7 as well. Now, Burt Mustin, we know him as he's Burt or Judd. Judd's who I always call him. He was also Mr. Crowley in one episode. But he was in 7 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. Hope Summers, that's Clara, or Clara Johnson, Clara Edwards, Bertha Edwards, or Bertha. She had a lot of names, but she was on 2 episodes of this show. But if you really go and look, there's a way out on IMDb to start looking, and there is a big list of people from the Andy Griffith Show that at least appeared on there, like John Denner, Colonel Harvey, Rita Shaw. She was Eleanor Poultice. As I said, you had Burt Mustin, Hope Summers, Sid Melton. I mean, there is a list a long list going down through here of even Miss Mayberry was there. Lillian Bronson, she was there. The Hail to thee, Miss Mayberry. She appeared on that show. So there's a whole list of people that were on both the Andy Griffith Show and that show. Now, that's not very surprising because there's a lot of people back in that time were on more than one show. One person that I did note was Roy Engel, because he was in several episodes of that particular series. Now, you remember him? He was he was the moonshiner that was up in the tree. You remember when that happened? He was Jess Morgan's. He was on 8 episodes. He was a moonshiner who was up in the tree when the mayor went with Andy and Barney to go arrest him, and the bear got in the car. Do you remember that? That's who he was. He was also on a bunch of other episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. He played the trumpet in the Mayberry Band. He was Luther. He was spectators in the crowds, and he ran around. He was actually called Judd in one episode, Mr. Perkins. He was in a lot of episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, but he was on this show, Date with the Angels. Now, evidently, it didn't last very long because the sponsors didn't like the way they did the show. And Betty White even said that she could honestly say this was the only time I have ever wanted to get out of a show. So she was not upset when it was over because evidently the sponsors were a little difficult for them. So thank you, Al Becker, for bringing that up. It's always fun to spot Mayberry people on other shows. Now, the easy one to spot Mayberry people is Perry Mason. If you watch the old Perry Mason episodes, I would like to know if there's how many episodes without a Mayberry person there are of of Perry Mason, because there's a lot. All right, so our next caller is somebody we all know very well because we hear from them a lot, not by voice necessarily, but usually by asking trivia questions. But I asked several weeks ago, I believe it was probably Memorial Day weekend. Is that right? Yeah, this is Labor Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend, I was mentioning we needed to gather a list of veterans, people who were said to be veterans on the Andy Griffith Show, the characters. And I got this really nice voicemail from Paul Mulik. So, Paul, take it away.
Hey, Floyd, this is Paul Mulik calling in again from Missouri. A week or so back on the podcast, you were talking about maybe making a list of people from Mayberry who served in the military. I think you mentioned Gomer and Barney and Dud Wash and Al and Bert and the Milo boys. And Andy does say he was in France during the war, but he never does say that he was in the Army. I think we can assume that's what he meant, though. Some other ones you didn't mention, Ed Sawyer, the stranger in town, said when he was in the Army he had a buddy, Joe Larson, that was from Mayberry. And then there was Sam Becker. Remember Andy delivered his baby in the middle of the night? Goober was in the National Guard, so I would say that counts as the military.
Yo.
Sam Jones in the final episode talks about being stationed in Italy when he was in the Army, and Ernest T. Bass mentioned someone named Jelsic Sturm, that the girls all went nuts when he came home in his uniform. And if you want to talk about the history of Mayberry, we could count Nathan Tibbs, and everybody in town seems to have had an ancestor that fought in the Battle of Mayberry. Those are some I thought of. One other that maybe counts is Malcolm Merriweather, because in his final appearance he does say he's going to stay and be an American, and he served in the Coldstream Guards. Well, I gotta go. So long.
Thank you very much, Paul, and that was a good rundown. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I do need to gather that list together. I think I'd like to publish that on the mayberry.info website. If you guys don't know about that, you can go to mayberry.info. It's like a Wikipedia for Andy Griffith Show information. I think that would be a good thing to do, and maybe by Veterans Day I'll have a good list. So that's a great list there, Paul, and it'll definitely help add to it. Yeah, I didn't even think about Ed Sawyer, the stranger in town, and yeah, and Jelsic Stern, Jelsic walk with me, Jelsic talk with me, Jelsic kiss my mouth. That was Ernest T's rival for Hoggett Winslow. So, yeah, that's a good one too. So, that's the fun thing about all these things. They all bring, these conversations, anything like this brings to mind other episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. So I love these feedback episodes. So thank you again, Paul. And if any of you have information about people who were mentioned on the show, and I guess Hugo Hopflash, he would be another one, right? Because he may have been on the wrong side, but he was a good soldier. Isn't that right? That Barney mentions. So maybe a list of all the possibles. We'll list the foreign, the people who served in foreign services. We'll do that as well. So let's go now to Tim. Tim called in and he had some information. I did an episode a few back about episodes or movies and things that Don Knotts had done. It was Don Knotts 101 episode I'd done, and he had some comments about that. So take it away, Tim.
Hey, Floyd, Allan. This is Tim Pyle again. I called a few weeks ago, but anyway, I wanted to. Y'all have been talking about some of the movies, other movies that Don Knotts has been in and stuff. And somebody mentioned the other day, Hot Lead and Cold Feet. One that I've noticed that people haven't mentioned yet, and maybe people forget about. He was in one of the Herbie the Love Bug movies as well. He was in Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. He played Dean Jones' sidekick and Herbie's mechanic, basically. His character's name was Wheelie Applegate. So anyway, just wanted to let you know, and I just have one thing to say today. Hot. Oh, hot. I can't do it as well as you can, but anyway. Have a blessed day, have a blessed weekend, and look forward to this week's episode coming up on Monday. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Oh, it's hot. 92. People always talk about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. That's right. So yeah, when I did an episode, it was episode number 848 of the podcast. If you haven't heard that, you can go back and check that out. It was 848. Don Knotts 101 was the name of the episode. And in it, we did go through several of the episodes or movies. Like I mentioned, Mr. Limpet, Ghost and Mr. Chicken, Reluctant Astronaut, The Apple Dumpling Gang. But I did not go through every movie that he had been in because you could just look up the list. But yeah, Herbie, that's a good one as well. There were a lot of really good episodes of movies that Don was a part of. I loved all the Tim Conway and Don Knotts movies. Those were all great. Apple Dumpling Gang, the Private Eyes, a great episode. I love that movie. I love it. So definitely go out there and have you a Don Knotts movie marathon week. I think that would be a lot of fun for a lot of you folks. All right, so next up we have Robert Wagner called in. So let's see what Robert has to say.
Hey, Allan, Robert Wagner from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Love the podcast. Appreciate all that you do. Wanted to talk to you about Keeper of the Flame and the very last scene in that episode where Opie says, he's not so dumb. And that line has always bothered me. I just don't think it's Opie, or as Barney would have said in a later episode, it's not Nugatuk. And that's the way 70s and 80s sitcom kids talk to their dads, but not Opie and Andy. So I wanted to see what you thought about that, see what maybe other listeners thought about it as well. Again, thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. Bye.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know what other people think. I always took it like it was just Opie talking to himself, going, "Yeah, he's not so dumb." In other words, I got caught. It wasn't a statement, I don't think, to be derogatory of Andy that he was dumb, but I never took it that way anyway. I always took it like, yeah, he's pretty smart. That's really what I was thinking, because I remember. I don't know when that realization hit me as a child, before I was an adult, but I definitely remember how smart my father was after I came back from college. I remember that. He is much smarter, and all those things he had taught me, wow, that was pretty good. So maybe Opie had learned that lesson much earlier than some of us might have. So I don't know. So I don't know. I never thought about it of him being a smart alecky at all, because, well, in truth, you almost didn't ever see that on TV in the, before more recent, because the ends were often cut out. And so you didn't really see things like that. So that was probably one of the tags, is what they call those ending credits, was actually cut out. So I don't know. I would love to hear what all of you think. Did you think that was out of character for Opie? Him being a little, I don't know, not bratish, but smart alecky there a little bit? Was that an issue? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think that. So let me know what you guys think. But Robert, I do appreciate it, and I do understand why you're saying that. I just never had thought about it that way. So next up, we're going to hear from Phil. Phil had a call in, and I wanted to make sure you guys heard this.
Hello there, Allan. This is Phil Barner calling from Fayetteville, North Carolina. As we're coming up on Mayberry Days 2025, I was just reflecting back on my first Mayberry Days back in 2009. And it was your podcast that finally got me motivated to make it up to Mount Airy and start enjoying the festival. Episode number 48. Just recently listened to it again, and it's just a great way to get yourself primed and keyed up for the upcoming festival. Just wanted to thank you so much for continuing to do the podcast. It was funny when I was listening to it, either that one or one around that same time, you were talking about you didn't know if you had enough material to keep doing a weekly podcast. And here we are 15, 16 years later, and you're still churning them out every week in, week out, and just great stuff as always. But thank you so much for keeping us all in the Mayberry spirit and everything you do during the festival. I mean, you are just the man on the go the whole time, and we all appreciate you. And we'll see you in a few weeks. Take care and safe travels.
Wow. Thank you, Phil. Now, Phil, if you don't know, he shows up at Mayberry Days. He is Leonard Blush and his wife. They're Leonard Blush and Miss Ellie. So if you see them in the parade, they'll be in the parade, Lord willing, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you very much, Phil. Wow, that was so episode number 48. That episode was about Doug Dillard. It was an interview I'd done with him, and it was about Mayberry Days as well. So definitely go and check that out. It's a short episode. That was back in the days when I didn't talk a lot and didn't. It's only audio, by the way, and it's only not even 15 minutes long. So you can go and check out that episode and hear from Doug himself all about Mayberry Days and that kind of stuff. He talked about things like that, I believe. But he's been to Mayberry Days ever since it had began at that point. Now, it was September 8th, 2009 when that episode came out. So it's not quite 15 or 16 years. I'm trying to stay as young as possible. It's close. We're 14 years basically into that, right? No, gosh, it is 15 or 16 years, isn't it? See, I like to trick myself into the math. This is terrible. It's 2009. It's 25, isn't it? Oh my goodness. He's right. I'm glad you're good at math, Phil. I try to pretend it's not been that long. So anyway, so that was episode 48. So that was within the second year of me doing the podcast. So go and check it out, I guess. Wow. I guess, well, maybe that was the first year. That was the first year. I hadn't done a whole year at that point, had I? Wow. Great memories. Thank you, Phil, for bringing that back into my mind, into my memories here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in and leave us a great message. That was a lot of fun. All right, so now I have, let's go ahead and we got some folks from YouTube that had some comments. So let's pop some of these up. This is from William. Evidently, I pronounced Bill Bixby's wife's name wrong. He corrected me, and I thanked him for it later. Her name is Bonnet. She also appeared in an episode of The Magicians and The Incredible Hulk, as well as Courtship of Eddie's Father. He said he had a little bit of trivia. Director Bob Sweeney also directed episodes of Courtship of Eddie's Father. Also, both the Andy Griffith Show and My Favorite Martian were filmed at Desilu Studios. So there you go. There we are. Cool. Thank you very much for those comments. They left those comments over on our YouTube channel. So if you'd like to be a part of our YouTube channel, head over and check it out. We got a Shelty Lover basically talking about episode number 806. It was Andy and Opie Housekeeper. So I reviewed that episode. They said, LOL, this is the funniest episode. So that's one of their favorite episodes. Thanks for taking time to let us know. So it's a lot of people's favorites. People have a lot of favorites, by the way. Rebecca, she wrote in about episode 118. Wow. 118. It's called Hail to Thee, Miss Mayberry. She said, I love that story about automatically singing all the Hail to Thee, Miss Mayberry. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that myself because I don't even remember. Hail to Thee, Miss Mayberry. Yeah, I don't even remember what I actually probably said during that video because it was, 15 or 16 years ago. It was a long time ago. It was a long time back. So thank you so much for going back and listening and watching all the old episodes as well. Thank you very much. Maybe this will encourage some of you guys to go back and check out some of our old episodes as well. Next up, we heard from Off the Wall Productions. And he's talking about episode number 851, If I Met Andy. I did a poem or read a poem from Ronnie Felker. It said, he said, fun fact known by few. So this goes back to what I was talking about a little earlier. So it's a throwback here about Jess Morgan, Roy Engel. Roy Engel, who played Jess Morgan. Now, you remember I just mentioned him just a few minutes ago about being on the TV series, what was it called? Date with the Angels. But he went on to play a more dignified role that of President Grant on several episodes of the Wild Wild West. Remember that show, The Wild Wild West? Bum, ba-dum, dum, 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 dum. I love that show. It's like spies in the Old West. So thanks for that one. And he also had another comment about the episode Keeper of the Flame. That was 852. He said he found episode of Keeper of the Flame and a few others in 3D on YouTube. It's that red, blue, green, videos. He said he had to go out and buy a pair of red, green glasses or red, blue glasses, whichever it was, to watch it though. He said they're in 3D. I've never heard of that. I have not gone out and looked for those. Something you might want to go and look at just as a novelty to see what would that be like. We're used to it in black and white. We don't want them to colorize it, but if it's 3D and it's that red, blue, red, green 3D, is that okay? What is that like? I can't imagine. Keeper of the Flame. So I may have to go and check that out. I don't know if I have any of those glasses either. I have to see. I hadn't seen any of them in years. So thank you very much for that comment as well. We had a comment from one of our live shows about Bailey's Bad Boy. Mrs. Frankenstein, one of our members over on our YouTube membership channel. You can support the show by being a member at YouTube or being a Patreon over at Patreon, or you can just make donations to the podcast. All those things help support me in paying for new equipment or replacement equipment or whatever. But she had said, looks awesome, talking about the artwork. So I've been trying some things with the YouTube channel to put thumbnails that were new and different. So I had a different thumbnail, and she said, she said, thank you for the extra long podcast. It's fun to hear your stories and see your awesome stuff. So for those that don't know, on Monday nights, we record this show live, and we have a chat room full of people, and they are in there right now visiting and talking and just having fun, seeing what each other's doing. But you can join us in those chat rooms on Monday nights if you go to twocairsnowaiting.com/live, or if you go to the YouTube channel for this podcast, or over on Facebook. There's people on all those places visiting and having conversations on Monday nights at 8 p.m. And Miss Frankenstein's normally one of them. I don't know if they're here tonight. I didn't see them, but they might be by now. All right, so next up, Jetstream. They wrote in about episode number 243. That was a Parley Bear. Mayor Stoner. It was part one of Parley Bear's episodes. They said Parley Bear developed the character Chester. You're talking about on Gunsmoke. On Gunsmoke, he was Chester on Gunsmoke with his voice. When she did the whole character with just his voice on the radio. That's what he's talking about. For 3 years, it was 3 years before Gunsmoke television show started. He was unsuitable for the TV version, as well was the voice of Matt Dillon, William Conrad, on the radio. They cast Dennis Weaver, who had a similar voice, to play Chester on the television. I have a collection of old-time radio, including most episodes of Gunsmoke, which I enjoy listening to. I did research and discovered that most of the early TV episodes were recycled and rewritten for television versions of the radio episodes. Interesting to compare. So thank you very much. I love the old Gunsmoke episodes. And if you don't remember and don't know, if you haven't listened to these podcasts, Chester was played by Mayor Stoner and Doc was Floyd. So Howard McNear played Doc on the radio version of Gunsmoke. So go and check those out. I think you'd really enjoy them. They're fun to listen to and easy to tell who it is that's talking. All right, so we got another voicemail. This is from Doc Adams. Is it a coincidence we're talking about Gunsmoke? I don't know. But Doc Adams wrote in about episode number 849, Founders or Pounders Day pageant 2021. It was about our, we showed clips from Mayberry Days at Colonel Tim's. So hopefully you'll be able to come to Colonel Tim's this year. He basically said, Allan, you were terrific. All the performers were wonderful. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. All those guys are amazing. The ladies that were in the beauty contest were great. Everybody, all these people really enjoy trying to make Mayberry fans laugh. So thanks so much. And Doc Adams also had another comment, and this was about one of the YouTube shorts that I've been creating that was from one of our previous episodes where Ernest T talks about how he came to be. So Howard Morris was talking about how he came to be Ernest T. And basically his comments there said, I'm the best rock thrower in the county. That's from Doc Adams. So I'm always trying to create things on YouTube for you guys. So watch around. I've been trying to put out a few YouTube shorts so you could watch them there. I've been trying to post them on TikTok and places like that too, but I'm not real big on TikTok. I'm probably not the right age demographic for that group, but I'm trying. We'll see. And I think our final message we've got from folks here is about a Barbara Eden and Don Knotts interview I did. Episode number 220 of Two Chairs No Waiting. It was called Don Knotts and Barbara Eden. That was part 2. So if you want to hear part 1, I'm sure it's 219. This was from Beechhurst Jimmy. And he said, excellent interview. 2 intelligent and interesting people being asked good questions with appropriate follow-ups. So thank you very much. I don't think I asked them the question. It wasn't me, but the interviewer on the radio did a great job. So thank you so much. So that's a bunch of our things we had there, except I have one more. This was an email I got from Wilford Sims. Wilford, he wrote me with a trivia question. Okay, so this is a trivia question for you guys. So I'll ask it like it's a trivia question, then I'm going to give you the answer. Okay. The trivia question he came up with, he said, here's a good trivia question. Of course, I'm disqualified. That's what he said. By what name do we know Melody in F? It's Melody in F, Opus 3, number 1 by Anton Rubinstein. What name do we know that by? Do you know? Our folks in our chat room will probably be trying to throw those out and get the answer thrown out for everybody. So we'll see. But do you know what that is? If you've watched the podcast, you would know. You would know because way back in episode 95, and folks in our chat room are throwing out the answer. Way back in episode number 95 of Two Chairs No Waiting, I told everybody about this. Good old 14A is what we know it by, or Welcome Sweet Springtime, right? Either one of those would have worked. The name of the actual song is, as Wilford said, Melody in F, Opus 3, number 1. And I even have a open source or a public domain version I can play for us. There it is. But that is the name of it. It was by I believe he's Russian. Yeah, Russian composer. No, Polish. He was Polish-American pianist, it says. That's what he says he was. But it is. But he is a Russian pianist. I was correct. He composed and conducted things, but this was one of the things that he had written was Melody in F, Opus 3, number 1. So there you go. And there's on the screen a picture of him. If you're watching the video version, you can see what he actually looked like. But it was. I did a whole episode, so if you go back and listen to episode number 95, you would be able to hear all the information about it. There's some links to information about that particular thing if this is interesting to you. It's always fun to me to find out cool information. I don't blame Wilford for not having listened to that from 2010, 15 years ago. It was August 3rd, 2010 when I did that particular episode. And I believe that was before I started doing video as well. No video for that. So that's all just an audio podcast. It's only about 15 minutes long. So go check it out. I think you would enjoy it. But thank you, Wilford, for taking time to write in and give us that question. That was a good trivia question, I think. Even though a lot of our folks did get it right here in the podcast, it was not something that's super widely known. Some of the musicians knew it, but not too many just Mayberry fans knew about that. So great job. Great job. So thank you, Wilford. And let's see. So we've got just a couple of minutes. So let's play, what do you think? A little bit of trivia? We've got a few minutes to play a little bit of trivia. So let's get some background music going for our trivia music, as we always do. Thank you to the VW boys. So there we go. So here we go. True or false? Are you ready? True or false? Otis once rode into town on a cow. True or false? Again, if you guys would like to be a part of the podcast, definitely come in and join us. Our chat rooms are having a good time. The answer to the question is true. Otis did once ride into town on a cow. He did. All right. Name the street that Barney lived on. Name the street that Barney lived on. And while you're thinking about it, I want to remind you to head over and check out Weaver's Department Store. WeaversDepartmentStore.com is a real store. Yes, we sell Mayberry things there. And they have the 2026 Mayberry wall calendar available only at Weaver's because it was made by Weaver's. So I hope you guys will drop by and check it out. While you're there, if you're going on the Mayberry cruise or just like to cruise around in Mayberry, there is a Cruise to Mayberry t-shirt. There's two versions. There's a light blue and a kind of a pink color. Go and check those out. And while you're there, one of my favorites, they have Floyd's Barbershop soap. Yeah, it's red, white, and blue. It's not, it is handmade. I don't know how you describe that, but it's soap that's not bought in the store. It's made. This is somebody makes it. Check it out. Floyd's Barbershop soap over at WeaversDepartmentStore.com. All right, now, what's the name of the street Barney lives on? It's Elm Street. The owner of the still is Barney Fife. Barney Fife. 411 Elm Street. That's how we know. Otis told us, right? All right. Number 3. Who did Opie and his pal sneak food to in the woods? Who did Opie and his pals sneak food into the woods? Or, I didn't read that really good. Who did Opie and his pal sneak food into the woods? They carried it in there. All right, folks in our chat room are getting it. So give yourself credit if you got it. I'll give you some multiple choice questions. Was it Wild Wally? Was it Mrs. Wiley? Was it Weird Willie or Weary Willie? Or was it Wile E. Coyote? Wile E. Coyote. It was Weary Willie. Weary Willie. Good job in our chat room. They got it right. So that was 3. I saw people getting it in all the chat rooms. Good job. All right. Number 4. This is going to be a true or false. True or false? Andy played the banjo. True or false? All right. So you got a 50-50 chance. I'm not going to give you a lot of time. Give your answer. The answer is false. He did not. He did not. Now, I don't know if Andy Griffith could play a banjo, but Andy Taylor, we never saw him play the banjo. Andy could play guitar. We know that. All right. What's this? 4, 5. Number 5. How many people lived in the Taylor home? Oh, this is an easy one if you can count. How many people lived in the Taylor home? Oh, this is a pretty good one. All right. How many Taylor? All right. As a hint, it's also Floyd's badge number. It says 3. 3. 3 is the answer. Yeah. 3. All right. What did I say? 4, 5. Number 6. Number 6. According to Opie, what did Mr. McBeevy learn from the cannibals? Oh, that's a little harder, but I think you can get it. According to Opie, what did Mr. McBeevy learn from the cannibals? I love these. It just brings back memories into my head, all these things. Man, thank you all for taking time to call or write in. I really appreciate that as well. The answer is he learned how to blow smoke out of his ears. He learned to blow smoke out of his ears. Mr. McBeevy, our tribute artist, can make it come out of his hand, puff up like a smoke signals. I don't think he's done it out of his ears yet. I need to talk to him. All right. Number 7. Well, I gave that answer. Nah, I'm going to have to throw this one out because it's what musical instrument does Andy play on the porch? Well, we already know that. I'm not saying that one. It's the guitar. There you go. I blew it. So the real number 8, here we go. It's true or false. Barney said 6 can't play bridge. True or false? Barney said it. Who said that? 6 can't play bridge. True or false? Barney said 6 can't play bridge. That is right. The answer is true. The 6 can't play bridge, goober. All right, so let's just do 2 more to even this out. In Mayberry, how many players make up a bridge game? In Mayberry, how many players make up a bridge game? I think this is a trick question. The answer is 4, just like everywhere else. It's no different. All right, so here we go. Number 10. Who said, I passed it, I didn't heave it? Oh my goodness. Who said, I passed it, I didn't heave it? Oh, do you guys realize how hard it is to read that and not try to say it like it's supposed to be said? So the answer is, who said, I passed it, I didn't heave it? It was Ernest T. Bass. Ernest T. It's so hard not to go, when I was reading it, not to say, who said, I passed it, I didn't heave it? Ernest T. Bass. So here's a bonus question for you. Opie was saving money to buy a coat for whom? Opie was saving money to buy a coat for whom? Okay, so if you know it, that's great. I see people in our chat rooms getting it right, all of them. Let me give you some multiple choices. Opie was saving to buy money, saving his money to buy a coat for, was it for Charlotte, Lydia, Sharon, or Mary? Who was he saving to buy it from? And how much money did he donate to the Underprivileged Children's Fund? 3 cents. Wow, 3 comes up a lot, you know. Badge number, 3 people live in the house, 3 cents. Wow, I never really thought about that. The answer is he was saving up to buy his girlfriend Charlotte something. Yeah, I even want to buy her this. Or you get a new coat. What? Yeah, she don't have enough money for a coat, so I say, you didn't tell me that. You didn't ask me. All right, so that is our trivia. How did you do? How did you do there? I feel like y'all did pretty good. Those were pretty fun, and I feel pretty good about them. I don't know how y'all felt. I feel like I would have done pretty good, so that's probably why I'm projecting. I'm projecting on you. But I hope you did well, and I hope you had fun. That's the main thing. I hope you enjoyed listening to all the listener feedback from people just like you. Guys, I can't tell you how much I enjoy it, and I want to tell you that our listener feedback episodes are often some of the most listened to or watched episodes of the podcast, which means people like you really enjoy listening to other people like you here on the podcast. So definitely think about giving me a call. And our phone number is 256-513-9526. So that's our phone number. You can find the phone number in the show notes on any of the pages at twochairsnowaiting.com. They're right there in all of our show notes. Call it that. You can also leave a message right there on the website. It's SpeakPipe. That's how Phil did it. He did it that way. Or you can record yourself on your phone and send me a file, an audio file. That'll work. You can also email me at floyd@imayberry.com, or just drop by the Two Chair site and leave a message. Leave messages over on YouTube. I try to read everything and I respond when I can. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.